All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Today, we're going to talk about Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is a great show. I used to love watching this when I was younger, but I think that it has a bit of a deeper meaning that we can take from it. And so I'm going to title this Avatar: The Last Airbender, an Ancient Esoteric Tale. I'm not going to talk about every aspect of the show because there's so much, but let's just talk about the basic four elements. So the four bending elements, air, fire, earth, water, those same elements are known as the classical elements, and they've been recognized across many different ancient cultures as elements that make up the universe. And so these aren't elements in the way we think of modern scientific elements like the periodic table, but as states of matter. So water being liquid, earth being solid, air being gas, and fire being plasma. So not only is there the aspect of looking at the universe as the states of matter and combining them into elements, but also the 12 zodiac signs in astrology are actually divided into four elements as well. So we can see elements not only in matter, but also elements as personality. So astrology, all this kind of stuff, at one point I didn't believe in it, but the more I look into it, the more I think it is real. And I think we can actually learn a lot about ourselves if we pay attention to it. And I think our current modern mechanistic science-based society, while we have an understanding of a lot of things that are physical, I think we are biased against these more subtler insights, which I think has proven detrimental to our mental and spiritual health, whether it be the loneliness epidemic, people feeling like they don't have direction in life. Because we as humans are so story-based, without having these insights, I think we feel lost in modern society. So hopefully this will give just a very basic elementary understanding. Each of the four, each of the elements kind of have these symbols with a triangle either pointing up or down and a line through it depending on which element it is. So if we look at air first, it's the triangle pointing up with a line through it. In astrology, these are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, which I think I spelled wrong. But the strengths of these are typically being contemplative, intellectual, and free-spirited. And the weaknesses are being practical or fickle, maybe starting a bunch of projects, never following through. In the show, the air nomads are a nation of spiritual pacifists who are near extinction, maybe due to their passivity. And then Aang, of course, is the sort of icon of this. And we see a lot of these traits exemplified in him. Then we have Zuko, and we also have the triangle pointing up to represent the element of fire. Astrologically, these are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Strengths of these are very, passionate people, very strong-willed, very fiery. Weaknesses being maybe inconsiderate in some ways, maybe unwieldy, maybe kind of hard to fit in and follow because they're trying to lead or trying to be passionate. And in the show, they're a Fire Nation of warring imperialists. So we see how they have strength, but their ambitions are detrimental to the rest of the world. And we see Zuko's whole story being he's powerful and strong, but he has to essentially learn to sort of tame the fire to be useful and good instead of just being blindly rageful and wanting to destroy the Avatar. And so then we have water, which is represented by the downward pointing triangle, and then Katara being the icon of the water tribe. So these are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. These are typically people who are intuitive and emotional, with weaknesses being maybe being overly sensitive. And then the water tribe, they're tribal people. They're somewhat isolated, which can be representative of how being an emotional person that is very private and inside, as opposed to always outward facing. And then we have Earth, which is the triangle pointing down with the slash through it. Then, of course, Toph from the Kingdom. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, very practical, very dependable, can be stubborn and can be materialistic, maybe as weaknesses. So the Earth Kingdom is a monarchy. It's very economic. Ba Sing Se is a very wealthy city. and it is central in world relations, so you can see that practicality there. The elements in the classical sense are often depicted as being either masculine or feminine, the ones pointing up being masculine, the ones pointing down being feminine. So fire and air seen as masculine signs, water and earth seen as feminine. Interestingly enough, the main icons for each of these in these four characters match up gender-wise with the masculine or feminine nature of these four elements. That doesn't necessarily mean that if your gender does not match up with your astrological sign, that there is anything wrong. But it does typically mean that society and the way society looks at these different traits, it's going to favor you more if your gender matches these traits. So, for example, if we look at fiery traits being strong-willed, being loud, if you're a man and you have these traits, people typically praise you for those traits. If you are a woman with those traits, people typically do not. They discourage it. Similarly, with watery, being emotional, being nurturing, if you are a woman with these traits, people typically praise it. If you're a man with these traits, people typically ridicule you for them. So that's just an example. So it doesn't mean you have to change your personality. It just means that whatever your predispositions are, it's good to understand how you're perceived by others. And so this is just a little bit of an insight. So this avatarstudiosofficial.com has a BuzzFeed style quiz where you answer a couple of questions and it'll assign you to one of the four bending nations. For me, my sister and my fiance, when we all did this quiz, we all got assigned a nation that matches our astrological sign. So for me, as an Aquarius, that's an air sign. I actually got the air nomad nation, which is interesting because I wasn't trying to, and I was even answering some questions that fit other nations, but I just thought that was an interesting coincidence. But ultimately, the show itself gets at the crux of the whole matter, which is despite these predispositions, the idea is, okay, astrology can help you understand what your native predispositions are, but being able to develop the strengths of all of these different aspects of all four elements will help you to achieve your goals and grow as a person. It'll help you cover some of your shortcomings as well. So essentially mastering all four elements to become the avatar in the show is similar to a journey in real life of trying to master all of the different positive traits of these different predispositions. And a big point that I wanted to make is that our modern media is simply just a modern version of ancient myths. So in the past, cultures would have ancient myths based on these gods that have these powers and different traits. Now we have superhero media or anime or things like that. And it's just a way of looking at things in a supernatural lens to make it exciting, but telling these hidden truths about the nature of reality and the nature of ourselves. And this is just a chart showing the different dates, what zodiac sign is for each date, and then the element. So if you don't know your sign, just look up what date your birthday is, and then you'll be able to understand. And that's your sun sign. There's a lot of other things that go along with astrology as well that I'm not as versed in, and I definitely encourage you to look up. But just having a basic understanding of your general sun sign element can help you have an intuitive sense of why you are the way you are. So yeah, just wanted to share that. And thank you all for watching. Have a good rest of the day. Let's give a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video, me. I wanted to introduce my new company, Sound Ultra. We're a music house providing custom tracks to you or your organization at a fixed monthly subscription. With Sound Ultra, you can put in unlimited requests, you can cancel your subscription at any time, or you can even pause it so you can use the rest of your days for the month at a later time. There are no contracts involved, so as soon as you get your track, it is all yours to use however you want. All you have to do is sign up and you can start making requests the same day. It's super easy. Whether you need music for your own content, commercials, trailers, games, movies, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, Sound Ultra has got you covered. Check out our site in the description below at soundultra.net and schedule a call with us today. Thanks for your consideration and thanks for watching.